An Albuquerque City Councilor is putting police on blast for not responding right away to a 911 call he made saying a man was pointing a gun at people.
Target 7's John Cardinelli joins us now. And John, you found out there is more to this story.
Yeah, Shelley and Doug, that's exactly right. Councilor Luis Sanchez made a call to dispatch after he says he witnessed an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon last month. But those with the police department say there may have been a motive behind his calls, as this is not the only one he's made recently.
911 emergency.
Albuquerque City Councilor Luis Sanchez made this 911 call on the afternoon of Saturday, March 26th.
61st and Central, I'm across the street in the building.
Which corner are they on?
They're at the pit stop, 61st and Central.
Which corner is that on?
Beat a guy up with a butt stock of a gun and pointed at him.
Okay, sir.
The dispatcher asks Councilor Sanchez if he wants to meet with police. He says no.
So if nobody wants to talk to the officers, then no.
No, you need to go get the gun off the street, ma'am. There he goes. He's walking away. He just pointed the gun at somebody else.
Where's the victim?
Are you going to go get the... You guys waste too much time.
4 minutes into the call, the dispatcher issues a be on the lookout for the suspect.
Are you serious? You're not going to come over here and deal with it? You're just going to be on the lookout?
Then, about 5 minutes into the call...
Did you dispatch officers? Hello? Did you dispatch officers?
Dispatch hung up on Sanchez without letting him know whether officers were called to the scene.
As far as I know, no one even checked the area. As far as I know, an officer never came to talk to me to gather further information.
Target 7 obtained the dispatch radio procedures from the Albuquerque Police Department. According to Section 3-1-5, since Sanchez said he witnessed an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, dispatch should have responded immediately.
I hope that the police department is not avoiding or diminishing calls to keep the crime stats down.
According to call logs obtained by the police department, an officer was not actually dispatched to check out the area until 33 minutes after Sanchez called. An officer arrived in the area 17 minutes later. That means it took APD 50 minutes to check out what was going on with a reported man with a gun. Sanchez believes officers were not dispatched until after he called a supervisor complaining. Despite whether or not Sanchez was willing to speak with a responding officer, APD says
they should have dispatched an officer right away on that type of call.
Gilbert Gallegos, the public information officer for the Albuquerque Police Department, admits procedures were not followed.
The director did speak to the call taker after the incident, talked with that person, and basically mandated some additional training to make sure they were aware of what they should have been doing.
While the department admits that officers should have been dispatched here immediately the day of the incident, they say that Councilor Sanchez has called the department numerous times over the past 6 months, and they're beginning to ask questions.
I think I counted 10 calls to 911 or to 242 cops.
Most of those occurred before he became a city councilor in January. The department gave Target 7 audio recordings of those calls.
Can you do something about the drug dealing and the prostitution going on outside of my office?
As well as these call logs. The department also says they saw no evidence of the incident that Sanchez says occurred on the 26th.
We didn't find the incident he's talking about. It may have happened, outside of view of the video, but our officers did make an attempt to try to figure it out.
On Monday, Sanchez brought his concerns about 911 response times to the city council.
The citizens of Albuquerque do not feel that they have the confidence to dial 911. And so that needs to be fixed.
It seems to be a pattern of the councilor calling 911 or saying he's going to call 911 and then bringing it up at city council meetings. So it's a little confusing, I guess, as to what his goals are.
So we asked Sanchez what his goals are. He told Target 7 he wants to make sure citizens get a response when they call police, especially on a 911 priority call. The department would not say whether they believe Sanchez's calls are legitimate.
I think something like that would have to be more properly vetted and answered by an outside entity like maybe the Inspector General.
Councilor Sanchez wants an audit done on Albuquerque police.
I would like to see the police department do an audit with somebody independent, go over all of the calls, listen to all the police calls that come in, and then determine whether they fall into one of their priority systems or not, or if they were diminished.
Sanchez says his biggest concern is police not responding within a timely manner to high priority calls. APD tells me they've reached out to Sanchez to have conversation about his experiences. They say he's not responded to their calls. For Target 7, I'm John Cardinelli.
APD says they want people to call the department if there is a legitimate reason to do so.